Okay, cool, so we're going to start. I'm going to bring on the first act of the evening. His name is Danny Mark. He's a good friend of mine. Now, Jesus, start clapping. So, I bring on the stage Mr. Danny Mark.
Are we all good? All good, brilliant. As Tom said, my name is Danny. I will explain that is short for Daniel. I'm shortening names all the time. I've got a little brother, so I call him Stu and he loves it. I've got another little brother, he's called Adam, so I call him Ad. He loves it. My cousin hates it because I call him Dick, even though his name's Kevin. Let me tell you a bit about me. I was born into poverty, or as the locals call it, Liverpool. I'm 32. I'm actually a graduate. Got any graduates in tonight? No, I didn't like to say it, but what graduate basically means, it just means that I've wasted 27 grand, right? That's all that means. And what I've done was I got a degree in business management. It sounds fancy, doesn't it? Business management. Qualified to be a manager. I've been graduated for 5 years, and the only time I've been called boss is when I'm ordering a kebab. So not going too great. I got a really good opportunity to use my degree then, so I've done something a little bit different. So I graduated, and I thought I'd go out and I'd buy a business. And I went out and I bought a strip club. Nice. Yeah, fan of a strip club. I was really excited. It was my first business. The first thing I'd done was I phoned my mum. I said, "Mum, I've bought a strip club." She said to me, "You having me on?" No, Mum, you have to audition like everybody else. I'm having a really good year this year. I'm having a really good year. Well, actually, I'm having a really good year. Last year, I haven't updated my material quite yet. But last year was the year that I got engaged. Thank you very much. I got down on one knee. I looked my girlfriend in the eye, and I said to her, "Will you marry me?" And she looked at me and she said, "No." That would not be a good end to the story, would it? To be honest with you. She looked at me. She looked back at me, and she said, "Are you sure?" Right? That's not what you want to hear when you're on one knee, to be honest with you. The reason she said that is we were having dinner about 6 months before this. We were about halfway through dessert, and I looked over at my girlfriend and she was crying. And my first thought was, that must just be really good cake. Right? That was my first thought. And then I looked over even more and she'd found a little ring in her dessert. She put it on her finger and she was going, "Yes, of course I will, of course I will." And I thought that was beautiful. I think it would have been more beautiful if it was my ring. What happened is the restaurant had got our table order confused with the table sitting right behind us. If I'm honest, it ruined both of our nights, but we got a £40 gift voucher, so all's well that ends okay. I said to my girlfriend that night as she was wiping away her tears, I said, "I'm a guy of class. When I do propose to you, you're going to get the full works. So I wouldn't propose in the middle of a rainforest cafe, right? You'd get the full Danny experience." So we fast forward to this time. I'm on one knee. "Will you marry me? Are you sure?" "I think so." And she said yes. It was beautiful, actually. We got a round of applause from everyone in Wetherspoons. It was absolutely banging. Because I'm getting married, one of the things I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get into better shape. I'm trying to look good for the photos, that's the truth of the matter. And one of the things I've started to do is I've started to run. Have we got anyone that does running? Any runners in? Yeah. I don't blame the right as shit, right? Absolutely. Obviously, I don't do the long distances. More of a short distance kind of guy. I've been doing the 100-metre sprint.
To the toilet and back?
To the toilet and back. I'd drive there if I could, to be honest with you. No, I've been doing the 100-metre sprint. 100-metre sprint. And I'm telling you guys about this because I've had a really good day today, because today I beat my personal best. 62 metres. I'll have that done by the end of the year. I'm a little bit funny about how I look, because before I met my girlfriend, I'm going back like 10 years, right, I had a bit of a bad experience. I was in this nightclub, and I was talking to this lady all night, and we got to the end of the night, and she looked at me and she just went, "Oh, that's a shame." That's not what you want to hear. And I shouldn't have asked, but I did. And I went, "Oh, what's a shame?" And quick as anything, she looked at me, she went, "Well, if you were a couple of stone lighter, you'd be lovely." I just looked at her and I just said, "That is so cheeky and so presumptuous." because I was a couple of stone light, I'd have been chatting to your friend. I used to work in a call centre. Has anyone done that? Anyone worked in a call centre before? I think if you've worked in a call centre, it's actually like part of the initiation process to be looking at the clock with your headset on and just think, fuck. What did I do in another life to deserve this very hell? I used to work in a call centre for an insurance company, and I used to have this really patronising team leader, and she used to say things to me like, Danny, why's your after call so high? And like, for anyone that doesn't or hasn't worked in a call centre, after call's just like a little button you press at the end of the call so you don't get any more calls. It's just like a little bit so you can do your notes, right? And she used to say to me, why's your after call so high? Why's your after call so high? And that really, really wound me up. Because her desk was next to mine. She knows why my after call's so high. She knows it's because I've been eating hula hoops all morning and Googling Game of Thrones, you know what I mean? Like, she knows why it is. And she used to say things like, well, have you thought about, I don't know, multitasking and doing things while you're already on the phone to save on your after call time? So you doing two things at once, and that is awful advice. Because that's what I got sacked for in the end. Because apparently it's against company policy to masturbate at your desk. So. I went to the barbers the other day. I went to the Turkish barbers. It's looking good, isn't it? Nice little fade there.
Very good.
It's the first time I've been to a Turkish barbers. Any of the men been here before?
Yeah, I have.
It's. What happens is, right, so I went to them and they said to me, they cut my hair and they said to me, do you want us to do like a traditional Turkish shave afterwards? And I thought, yeah, we'll do some of that, we'll have some of that. I've never had it before. He said, right, just put your head back in the chair and I'll be back in a second. Do you know what happens next? They just throw a hot towel over your face. Didn't expect it, I thought it was being waterboarded. I'm not going to lie, I didn't think I was coming out of there. People say to me, why did you get into comedy? Why did you want to do comedy? Why did you get into it? And I've always wanted to do stand-up comedy, but I was quite scared of speaking in public. My nan changed it for me. My nan's one of my biggest inspirations, but she changed it with the most horrific piece of advice I've ever been given. And I do apologise for what's about to come out of my mouth, but I feel like I've got to share it. My nan sat me down. My nan sat me down. She looked at me and she knew I wanted to do comedy. She said, Danny, you've got to do what you want to do. Remember, anything is a dildo if you're brave enough. From my nan. I mean, it worked, I'm here, but I love my nan. My nan gets things wrong all the time. She's one of them people that she's adorable. She gets things wrong all the time. And like, so we just, like a couple of months ago, we had Christmas. And she was going around calling all the mistletoe camel toe. And no one had the heart to correct her. My nan, she's recently joined Facebook. She's recently joined Facebook. She's like 10 years behind everyone else, and she's joined that group, Rate My Plate.
Oh God.
Like, obviously 5 years after everyone else, she's there, but she's really into it at the moment. She's always sending me a little witty comeback she's put on there, right? And the other day I was at work and I got a text message from her, and it was just like a normal text, and it ended with, "I'm having sausage and mash for my tea tonight." Now, I saw an opportunity here to connect with my nan on a subject that she's already familiar with, and I thought, this is a great bonding moment for us. So I sent her a message back, and she said, well, send us a picture of your mash, and I'll rate it. Alright? I didn't think nothing more of it. I put my phone away, I looked a little while later, and I did have a photo, but it was not mashed potato. What had happened, right? What had happened is my phone had taken it upon itself to auto-correct the word mash. To the word gash, right? Now, I don't know what's more horrific, the fact that I obviously must use the word gash more than mash, or the fact that my nan sent me that photo. Still, I promised her a rating, so 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. One of the trickier wanks I've had. Oh dear, don't get any worse than that, I promise. One of the things about me is I've always had pretty pretty crap shoes. I've always had pretty rubbish shoes, right? There we go, having a quick peek at my feet. These are awful, right? Because I just think they're really expensive. But I thought, I'm having some problems with my knees at the moment. I'm on my feet most nights doing stand-up, believe it or not. and I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll buy some quite good shoes. They might be good for my posture, it might help me out a little bit. So I thought I'll throw some good money at them. So I'll go to the best shoe shop I know of. So I found myself in Sports Direct, right? I'm in Sports Direct, and I'm looking at these shoes, and I find a pair that I really, really like. But they're like £100. And I think it's a lot of money for some shoes. I'm not too sure, but I really like them. And I eventually buy them. And the woman at the counter says, would you like to put your old shoes in the box and wear your new shoes home? And I thought, that's a great idea, because it'll give me a chance to convince myself that these are a bargain. And, you know, so I'm driving home, I'm wearing my new shoes, that's the upshot of it, right? I'm halfway home, I'm looking down at my feet, I'm still not sure. I'm looking back up. Driving along a little more, looking down, almost crashing, but looking down. And by the time I've got home, I've convinced myself that these are the biggest bargain that I've ever bought in my life. I can't believe my luck, right? Until I walked through the door, and there was my girlfriend, who looked at me, then looked down at my shoes, then looked back up at me again, and then pissed herself laughing. I was fuming. I was livid. I was like, what do you think you're laughing at? And she went, well, your shoes, obviously. Obviously? I've just paid £100 for these, what's wrong with these? She went, £100! You're a 31-year-old man. What the hell do you need a pair of Heelys for? So I had to take them back. Me and my girlfriend, we have had a few arguments about, over the years. I mean, I love her to pieces, but she does make me laugh. Not so long ago, we wanted to go on holiday. Now, I wanted to go to Dublin. My fiancée wanted to go to Amsterdam. So we sat down and she spoke to me about compromise, and off we went to Amsterdam, right? Has anyone here been to Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Did anyone here go to the ice bar in Amsterdam? Have you been to the ice bar? Do you know what the ice bar is? No, but you look like a pretty intelligent bunch, right? So, probably work out what it is. What it is, it's a bit like this, right? But everything in it is made of ice. Absolutely every single part of it is made of ice, right? And this is my comedian's mind work, and I'm in there shivering with my coat on, drinking a flaming sambuca for the extra heat, right? And I noticed behind the bar, they've got 4 different fire extinguishers.
Interesting.
In a bar made of ice. I was just like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, I was like, surely knife jackets would be more appropriate, right? And I've started to see things like this absolutely everywhere. So like, I gig around the country quite a lot, and I stopped at a restaurant on the way to a gig the other week. And the waitress came over, she said, what would you like? And I said, well, do you do an all-day breakfast? And she went, yeah. Until 11. It's not even an all-morning breakfast, do you know what I mean? Like, the Sliding Door Company are another one. Have you heard of the Sliding Door Company? Again, you look like a pretty clever bunch. You can probably work out what they sell, right? Sliding doors. On their headquarters, revolving doors. What are these people doing? I was walking around B&M. Have you got a B&M in Swaffham?
No.
No, but you know what B&M is?
I don't know.
It's wonderful, and you can go with a £5 and come out with a kilo of gummy bears and a bottle of vodka. It's superb, isn't it?
Yay.
I was walking around B&M and I was in their garden section. I don't know why. I don't even have a garden, but I was having a look, right? And I was walking around, and it was one of them stones that you put in your front garden with the words, "Nothing is written in stone." On a stone. I saw these absolutely everywhere, right? So I thought I'd call my mate up and I'd talk to him about it, because it was starting to drive me a little bit mad, right? And we went to Wetherspoons, because I spend all of my time at Wetherspoons. We got there and I went to the counter, and first of all, the waitress, the bar lady came over and she said, "I'm really sorry, our dishwasher's broken tonight. Do you mind if we serve your drink in a plastic glass?" And that got me back. And I said, "No. Because you mean a plastic cup, don't you? It can't be plastic and glass at the same time, can it, right?" My mate saw this, and we sat down and I spoke to him. I talked about Amsterdam, I talked about the breakfast, I talked about everything, right? And we ordered a pizza, and it came over, and my mate started to wind me up. And I said, "Oh, which bit of this do you want?" He went, "Oh, I'll take the bigger half." I said, "Come on, mate, we just spoke over how comes I'm a big half and bigger." But we got through it anyway, and later on, I said, "I've got a gig this weekend in Swaffham. Do you fancy coming?" And he got me again. Because he looked at me and he went, "Oh, it's a definite possibility. And I snapped at this point, right? I snapped. I said to him, how can something be both definite and possible at the same time? You've heard what I've been saying to you tonight. And he looked at me, and as quick as anything, he said to me, in the same way that you tell everyone that you are seriously funny. So he got me there. So I left him with the bill, right? I walked home, walked through the door. There's my girlfriend. She could see that I was a little bit pissed off. She asked me what's the matter, so I told her. I went for everything. Told her about what I'd noticed and about all these contradictions. And she looked at me and she said, I think I know what you mean. Is it a bit like the phrase, happily married? So I'm looking for a new girlfriend. I do love her, believe it or not. I do love her. She said words to me, funny enough, the other day that no man ever, ever, ever wants to hear. She sat me down, she looked me square in the eye, and she said, Danny, having a small penis shouldn't affect our sex life. What do you say to that? I just went, oh, I know. I would just prefer it if you didn't have one at all, but there we go. I'll leave you with this. I'll leave you with one little story before I go. Right, so this is the funniest argument me and my girlfriend have had, and probably the second worst joke I've got to tell. I had a gig in Liverpool. Now, this is about 4 months ago. My girlfriend had obviously forgot, and I had to leave for work early. So I walked through my front door maybe 4 hours earlier than she was expecting me to walk through, right? And I walked in and I caught her. Now I know what you're thinking, what did you catch her doing? Did you catch her cheating? No, worse. I caught her, and there's no nice way to say this, so I apologise. I caught her masturbating with a carrot. Some confused faces, and let me just tell everyone else, that is absolutely the correct reaction. I walked in, and I was just like, what the hell is going on here? She went, well, what do you mean? I said, that. She went, well, what's your problem? I said, well, I was going to eat that later. Now it's going to taste like carrots. The worst part is what she said back to me after that. She came back to me quick as anything and said, well, your nan gave me the idea when she texted me. Cheers guys.